podcast, and he joins us live here on our broadcast. Don Milton is with us. Don, how are you, sir?
Another day in paradise, and I love your shirt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, Don, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'll give you the short version. I started off as a research mathematician and college teacher. Did that for about 5 years. Then I got off into the real estate business. I had an investment real estate company for about 25 years, basically helping people buy and sell large apartment complexes in the southeastern U.S. And then 17 years ago, I got into this business as a life coach based on a lot of healing that I had done, since 1990. I mean, I had spent a lot of money and time learning about many things and being a student and a teacher. And, in 2003, as a result of some things I learned then, I made a commitment to do this.
Fantastic. We've got Don Milton with us today. Joins us live here in the broadcast. So, what is your latest project here?
Well, latest project. I just published a book. At the age of 75, I finally published a book. I've been having people tell me for 15 years I needed to write a book, so I finally did it.
We have got a great guest with us today, the author of Living from the Inside Out, Don Milton, with us today here on our Sunday radio broadcast. So, tell us about this book. Why did you decide to write this book, Don?
Well, this book basically talks about my journey of getting into this profession as a life coach. I've always been a seeker and a searcher and looking for what was true and effective. And as a result of a couple of catastrophic events in my life in the early 90s, that put me on a totally different path. I had an experience in the spring of 1992 as a result of working with a coach. I had an experience for the first time in my life of feeling a direct connection with a power beyond intellect and logic. I'm comfortable with the term God, but to me it's not this big man in the sky. It's like a universal consciousness. And as a result of that experience, it totally put my life on another track from ego, logic, focusing on making money and all the exterior things to more of an inner journey. And this book basically talks about my path along that journey, and it talks about in detail techniques and concepts that I use in working with clients to the title From the Inside Out basically is about that it is an inner, we can have peace, love, and joy regardless of our external circumstances. And it's just the opposite of what I was taught. And most people, you're taught that you get the right education, you have the right relationship, you have this, you have that, and then you're happy. Well, it doesn't work like that. You can certainly have all that and be happy, but just getting it doesn't cause you to be happy.
Don Milton with us today, joins us live here on the Sunday radio broadcast, talking about his latest book, Living from the Outside. So Don, tell us about what you want readers to take away from your writing of this great book.
Well, I'd like people to understand how life really works. What causes your feelings. That it's not events that cause you to feel happy or sad or angry or anxious or whatever. Those things are not the cause. The cause is how you think about those events. And I've already, the book's just been out a couple of weeks, and I've had feedback from maybe half a dozen people that have already gotten it and read it, and they've seen a few things in there about congruence, or about the cycle of creation, or about tapping, EFT. They've already seen some things that have been like a wake-up call for them, and that they're going to start using in their life. So my purpose is really to share information with people that they're probably not going to find out about anywhere else, and hopefully someone, I mean, for me, James, I read a lot, and sometimes I'll read a book that's 250, 300 pages, and I may get one nugget that is useful to me. And for me, it's worth it. This book is about 150 pages, and I would imagine most people would get a few nuggets that will be well worth it to them.
It is Don Milton. He's with us today. Living from the Inside Out is the latest from him. He joins today here on our big program here on the Sunday radio broadcast. So this book is getting a lot of rave reviews, getting a lot of great feedback. Tell me about some of the reviews you've gotten on the book so far.
Well, basically, I had one guy tell me that he's like in his mid-50s, and he said he's been a procrastinator all his life, and when he read about congruence, that was a big wake-up call for him, and he realized congruence is basically the concept that your thoughts, words, and deeds are all in alignment. And I talk about priorities, and he realized when he took an objective look at his life that the reason he was feeling so overwhelmed and unproductive is that he was spending a lot of time on things that weren't important to him. Another person, told me that the idea that she had never thought that it was your thinking that causes your feelings, and that one thing caused her to take a look at situations in her life that she had no control over the situation, but that she could have some control over how she felt about it. Somebody else talked about how they realized the importance of discernment, boundaries, and communication, and that when you can remove a charge from a situation, like if you're real angry with a coworker, and before you can have useful communication, you should tone down your anger, do what you need to do to get rid of the anger, and then your communication will be better. So these are, some most people say it's real easy to read, and several of them have told me that they didn't have any intention of reading it so fast, but once they got started, they just couldn't quit. So that's good to know.
It is Don Milton, donmilton.net. He's got the latest book, Living from the Inside Out. He's with us today here on the Sunday radio broadcast. So this book, incredibly well written. You put a lot of time and effort into the book. What are some of your goals for this book?
Well, basically to expose people to these concepts, and there's a lot of things like meditation, journaling, tapping, emotional freedom technique. There's a lot of things people can start doing on their own, but really, if they want to go deep and really get results, it would be good to work with a professional, whether it be me or someone else. And one thing I would like to mention, James, and I believe Janet may have talked to you about this, is this group phone program that I've got. Would you like me to mention a little bit about that?
Yes, indeed. Talk about it, my friend Don Milton, donmilton.net. Tell me about it.
This is a program I developed a few years ago. I had 3 different clients that did an intense 12-week program with me, which the fee for that is $6,000, and it's a big commitment on my part and the client's part. They basically, we have one hour and a half to 2 hour session a week, and then they have about an hour and a half worth of work to do every day for 12 weeks. And this is, and I'm fully available for them when they need me, and we're both all in on it. And it changed their personal and professional life so much that they were in a network marketing company, and they were telling all their colleagues and friends, you need to go work with this guy. It's amazing. My life has changed. Well, most people didn't want to work that hard or spend that much money. So these clients of mine said, Don, is it possible, can you create a program that's not very expensive, that'll get good results for people, and they don't have to spend an hour and a half a day if they don't want to. So that's this program. It's a 6-week group phone program, and basically the minimum requirement to get really good benefits is to either be on the call every week or listen to the replay and spend 15 to 20 minutes a day using basic EFT, emotional freedom technique, which has been around for about 25 years. It's just a technique where you focus on certain emotions, you tap, and you get amazing results. That's the minimum requirement. Then in the first session, I talk about other techniques, Tapas acupressure technique, matrix reimprinting, Byron Katie work, journaling, meditating, reading. I talk about all these other techniques, how you use them, and the benefits you get. And so people have the option to do whatever they want to. I mean, some people in these programs will do the tapping and meditate, or the tapping and do some reading. I had one person that I can remember that did everything. They were spending about an hour, and they were basically doing a 6-week version of my 12-week program without being accountable to me or being available all the time, and their results were off the charts. So it's really a matter of the program is set up to give people significant results over a 6-week period, and they can really choose to do as much as they want. I mean, if a person, James, in my opinion, if a person, are you familiar with EFT?
Yes, I am, but for the folks who are not, explain it.
Well, have you ever had any experience with EFT yourself?
No. But folks don't know what EFT is, so explain it, my friend.
EFT is a technique that was developed about 25 years ago, and it's currently used by probably tens of thousands of professionals around the world and millions of people. It's basically a technique, let's say, for instance, that something happens at work, and you feel angry, frustrated, confused, whatever. You have a variety of emotions. EFT is a technique where you can think about the event, tune into each emotion, rate it on a scale of intensity from 0 to 10 about how much it bothers you, and then one emotion at a time, you basically just tap on some acupressure points, and you say some language related to that emotion. And literally, if a person is doing it properly, within 5 or 10 minutes, you can think about that event and be at peace with it. You can use it for physical pains. I know Janet has used it a lot for sinus problems, headaches, back pains. You can use it for pain. You can use it for phobias. It was developed to use for emotional issues, but as they got into it, they were finding people could get good relief from physical problems, phobias, whatever. It's an amazing technique in itself, and it's something I've actually got on my website, donmilton.net. I've got a series of 17 videos that I created showing how to use basic EFT for 17 different issues. So it's really, and kids can use it. I've had clients, James, that taught their 3- and 4-year-old kid to use it. And I mean, it's just a really neat technique.
It's Don Milton. He's with us today, donmilton.net. He has also got a fabulous new book. It is out there right now. It is amazing, Living from the Inside Out. And this book, incredibly well written. You put a lot of time and effort into the book, as we've mentioned. What elements did you draw upon to develop this book?
Just my life experience. I mean, I talk about in the book growing up a little bit as a Catholic, and then at the age of 18, questioning all that and realizing I couldn't sign up for that anymore, and spending 3 years to find something else to sign up for and not finding it, and basically, being an agnostic for 25 years. And then as a result of working with the coach almost 30 years ago, having that experience of feeling a direct connection with another power, and then all the work I've spent over $100,000 on my own journey, and probably 20,000 hours over the last 30 years. So really, I just kind of, it's not a book about my life, but I share circumstances and events in my life that are relative to what I'm talking about, and then go into detail. Basically, I talk about all the components of the 12-week program that I do with individuals, and this 6-week phone program I was telling you about. Actually, I'm starting a few of those in the 3 different ones in a couple of weeks. The information on that is program.donmilton.net. So anybody interested in that can go to that site, see more about the program, and sign up if they're interested.
It is Don Milton. He's with us today here on our big program, and he joins us today talking a little bit about his latest book, and that is pretty amazing, Living from the Inside Out. DonMilton.net is the official website. So, Don, summarize your book in just a few sentences for us, for folks that are thinking about picking the book up.
A few sentences. Well, the one sentence that they put on the back of the book, which I tell people all the time, we find ways to do what is important to us and excuses for the rest.
It is Don Milton, DonMilton.net. He's with us today here on our big broadcast. So, give us the profile of the typical reader who's going to love your book.
I would think the profile is going to be anyone that would like to have a happier life without spending a lot of money or a lot of time. Now, if you really, of course, you can read about all these things, but if you really want to get results, you have to do something. So I think the profile for the reader is going to be anyone that would like to understand how life really works, and some techniques and concepts that you could use to make changes that you want to make in relationships, your health, your job, whatever's important to you.
It is Don Milton, DonMilton.net. He's with us today here on our big program here on the Sunday radio broadcast. So who do you envision to be the potential readers for this book, Don?
Anybody that can read English.
It is Don Milton, DonMilton.net. He joins us today here on the Sunday radio broadcast. So what makes your book different from others like it?
Others like it. That's a hard question to answer. I mean, there's lots of good books out there. So I don't know. What people I know, I share a lot about my personal experiences, and a lot of the books that I've read, self-help, personal growth books. Sometimes people are not so vulnerable about what's happened in their life. I think one thing that may be different about it, that I haven't really seen, and I read a lot, but I think that all the things that I talk about, EFT, typus acupressure technique, matrix reimprinting, Byron Katie, personal peace program, all these things, I have not seen a book that talks about all of these different things and the benefits you get and how to use them. So that may be unique. I don't know. I haven't seen one like it.
It is Don Milton, DonMilton.net. He joins us today here on our big broadcast. So, what do you want readers to take away from your writing of this great book, my friend?
Well, I guess the title says it all, living from the inside out. I'd like people to come away with an understanding that you can have peace, love, and joy regardless of your circumstance, regardless of your age, your education, your financial situation, your relationship situation, regardless of what's going on in the world. Look at all the craziness going on right now. I mean, we're living in a time that is just unbelievable what's happened in such a short time. I understand that the suicide rates, the depression rates, the addiction, that's just gone through the roof. Well, that's because people are feeling helpless and hopeless and just anxious about everything. Well, yeah, there's a lot of crazy things going on, but the takeaway from this book is that those things that are going on do not cause you to feel depressed, anxious, angry, frustrated. They don't cause that. So you can right now, you can eliminate all those feelings. That's not going to change all the stuff that's going on. But once you eliminate all that negative energy, then you have more clarity to say, hey, is there anything I can do on a small scale to make changes? Because you're going to make a person is going to be able to communicate and behave much more effectively if they're not all in bondage to all these negative emotions. So that's what I'd like to share, that, you know, you can be happy right now, right where you are, without anything else changing.
Fantastic. Well, Don, that's where we'll leave it for today. I appreciate you being with us. The book is Living from the Inside Out. Don Milton is our guest. And, Don, have yourself a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, brother. There he goes. Don Milton joins us today here on Skype. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we've got more. On the other side, it is the world famous Sunday Radio broadcast.